Hey guys, how's it going? So, here's the scoop. Running Windows 10 on a Mac that is also running Montery. I have Montery installed on my Mac, as many of you know, and even since Big Sur, I've not been able to get Windows back on, although somebody on YouTube did. But I guess that was in the early release of Big Sur. It was not a problem. I've had nothing but difficulties. However, who knows why. Anyways, I thought I'd give it another shot, this time with Montery, because we still have Boot Camp application available to us, even in Montery, at least for Intel Macs. I haven't looked at a Mac 1 to see if Boot Camp is part of the OS or not, but you can install Windows. Now, of course, you are going to be limited to Windows 10, obviously, but that's the way it goes. I did run a Windows 11 checker before on my Catalina system, which is actually running Windows 10, and that computer actually failed for Windows 11. So I can't say 100% yet. I've got about 5 billion updates to do for Windows 10 yet. But there are some things you need to know about that are actually quite a real pain in the butt of getting Windows 10 now to recognize all your Apple hardware on the install, because now things are done differently. Normally you would run Boot Camp and you would say, yeah, I want to download the ISO. I already have that, so throw that on the desktop, you're good. Now what it does is you fire up Boot Camp, it automatically gets you to start partitioning the hard drive size, but it doesn't partition it right away. Okay. The next step, of course, that you would be able to choose, which, I mean, the proper order would be download my USB stick full of my Apple drivers so that, you know, it can actually talk to the Windows environment, including the reboot program to boot back into your Mac OS. Well, you can use your option key, but there's another caveat there we're going to have to discuss too. So, oh my goodness, this has been such a interesting experience. But I do have the USB stick from my Catalina system of Boot Camp, because you don't have the Boot Camp USB stick being created for Big Sur or for Montery first before you install Windows. It actually will go, it'll tell you, okay, you need to set your partition, you need to have an ISO. Okay, we got those. Then you hit continue on, and it'll start to download what's supposed to be all the Boot Camp stuff that would normally go in as part of Windows, and then it'll reboot your Mac and get you started into installing Windows, which is okay, fine. We get there, and we don't even have the Apple software update program, we don't have the reboot program in Control Panel or anywhere, so that we can get back to our Mac OS. So our only other option is the option key. However, if you are using Bluetooth devices, like an Apple keyboard and mouse, they won't immediately be active on the Windows environment, so you're going to need a USB keyboard and mouse. I actually use a Microsoft Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. It still has not recognized my mouse yet on the Windows environment, but it did recognize the keyboard, and they were bought as a matched set. So why isn't it recognizing my Bluetooth mouse? Maybe it's missing some more updates yet. But at least my device manager is all cleaned up now, which is good. I do have to install the AMD video drivers though. But you have to go in, you have to download the Catalina one, the most recent one, 64-bit obviously, and get that Boot Camp and go into the drivers area, and you're going to have to start installing these manually. Okay? You cannot run the setup program, and we're going to show you that by running Windows to show you exactly what files you actually have to do. So we're going to restart the Mac. We're going to hold down our option key because we want to start into Windows next. So this is not an emulation program, by the way. For those of you who still do not get it, that Macs can run Windows for real, this is not emulation. This is for real. Boot Camp is just a way of getting us to partition that part of our hard drive so we can get Windows on here. So holding down the option key, we got our choices. Now, of course, I've now lost my access to my Bluetooth mouse that was on the Mac side. So now we click on Windows, and we click the arrow, and we boot into Windows. And like I said, I got Windows 10. It's an old version of 10, so I do have a bazillion updates to do, but that's fine. Now my iMac is a late 2015 quad-core 3.2 gigahertz, 2 gigs of video RAM, blah blah blah. Okay, so now we're signed in. Now there was no problem with it finding my CD-ROM initially, and as you can see there's no CD icon. I have a super drive attached to my computer. Okay, so I'm going to grab a PC CD here, and it should bring that right back up. And guess what? We now have lost our super drive. Wonderful. So boot camp, drivers, Apple, and if I remember right, it was this one. Okay, now we should hopefully have our CD-ROM back. Oh no, my CD-ROM's not even plugged in. That's why. Okay, don't worry about it. I had to unplug my CD-ROM to put in this stick. So we're going to have to, we can't run the boot camp program to start the install. Okay, it's not going to run. We can't run the merge program. It doesn't want to run. But we have to install these drivers independently in each folder. They will run. Okay, AMD graphics setup. And I'm going to have to install this because I haven't done this yet. Because otherwise I have limited access to resolutions. And next. Yeah, Express works for me. Accept. So now this is going to say you don't have permission access, blah 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 blah, application, installer package failure. Okay, so looks like it's not going to let us do it, but it's still doing it anyways until we get to this point. Access denied. Okay, so obviously there's something we can't do. Maybe it's the wrong AMD driver. Camera is fine, keyboards, trackpad, I don't have one anyway, so I don't care. Yeah, but we do have to install these Apple ones. I did go ahead and install most of this other stuff as well, including Broadcom. You're going to need the Broadcom drivers. And you want the Windows 10 stuff. So we have Ethernet. We have Legacy 64, which we don't want Legacy. So, but all my Broadcom drivers are already installed, so I'm fine there. I don't have to worry about that one. But these have to be installed separately. Any of them that fail, don't worry about it. But the first one you have to actually install to get things going. You're going to go into Boot Camp, and you're going to go Drivers, and into Apple, and it's the Apple software update that you want to install. This one here, Apple software update. That you need to install, then check for updates. It'll find some Boot Camp updates for you and install them. But it's still not going to install the switcher program that you can just simply click on and switch that way. So you are going to have some little bit of frustration. When you switch between the Mac side and the PC side, if you're using keyboard and mouse on an iMac, for example, it's Bluetooth, you'll bind it to the Mac side initially, obviously. It will not be there on the PC side, neither one of them. So you need a USB mouse to get access to rebind your mouse and your keyboard to your computer. Even if it's Apple hardware, each time you bind a Bluetooth device, regardless being Apple or not, it gets bound to that particular operating system, right? So then when you reboot to the next operating system, it's offline. where it was before, it was online. It just doesn't automatically do it for you because it's a pairing sequence thing, right? So that is one drawback. Now, I usually just run Windows 10 these days on my mid-2012 MacBook Pro with Catalina and Windows 10 because I just use an external mouse that I have always just bound to the PC side. But I can rebind it to the Mac side if I want. But I do have the trackpad, so it's not a big deal. I'm not without a trackpad, and because I'm using the internal keyboard all the time on that laptop, I don't have to worry about a keyboard rebinding. But when it comes to an iMac or a Mac Pro Tower or any Macintosh, like a Mini as well, you're going to have that rebind thing you're going to have to do every time. So you're going to definitely need an external keyboard and mouse that's USB, and you have to anyways, because when you go to set up Windows, there's some typing you need to do. And mouse work. So you definitely have to have an external USB keyboard and mouse on your Mac in order to actually do any of this. And then, of course, manually install all those drivers that will install without a hassle. Get all those installed. Go to your device manager, right-click on anything that has failed, and re-put it back in. The FaceTime camera app is here. You're going to definitely want to make sure that you're using the correct one. So for late 2015 iMac, it's going to be this, or late 2015 Mac period. You're going to want this one. The one below, or one above, no. That's previous to 2015, so you need this one. Different FaceTime camera. So you're definitely going to need the second one on the list to get your FaceTime camera back online. And we go in and we go to our camera app. And we have our camera. Voila! Okay, now as far as this camera goes, it's a 720p camera. Okay, which is fine. No big deal. What else? So you will find a few things offline in your, probably in your network area. You can right-click them and update them. Initially what happens, you won't have your Broadcom drivers updated right away for you, so you will have to plug the computer into an Ethernet port, because Mac or PC, it does recognize the Mac's Ethernet port and hardware. It will not recognize the Mac Wi-Fi that's built in until you have actually done the updates, right? So I have a USB plug-in PC Mac compatible, only Mac compatible with, I believe it's Catalina and below, or is it Big Sur and below? One of the two. Anyways, yeah, I think it was Catalina and below. Wouldn't work for Big Sur. But I use that, and it's PC, because it's PC and Mac, Windows 10 will automatically locate it for Wi-Fi, and I just connect to that. Then once all my updates are done, then my internal Wi-Fi is back on. So now I can choose to use either Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi number 1, or however it's listed here. But I have two options here for Wi-Fi cards now. Yeah, Wi-Fi 2 or Wi-Fi. And we're on Wi-Fi, which the Wi-Fi is actually my external USB dongle. And then Wi-Fi 2 is my internal card. And but that adapter does not work under Montery. Okay? So if you're running your Mac OS side, you're going to be stuck using your internal Wi-Fi for your Mac side. But getting back and forth, it's pretty simple. Even without that program that you would be able to access in the menu or in your control panel, you just do a restart and just, tap on the Alt key like a little madman, otherwise known as an Option key on the Mac. Oh, it didn't catch it in time. Darn it. That's a bit of a pain. It was faster than me. So now we got to put a boot back in the window again. Maybe if we just try holding it. But anyway, so you get the idea. You can actually get Windows 10 running under Montery on an Intel-based Mac computer that runs Montery. So if you still need to run Windows 10, it's not a big deal. And it's still... I'll get it figured out again. It's a timing thing. Without that loader access program to switch easier, it is a bit of a pain. Okay, let's try this again. This is one little thing that you're going to find may be a little annoying. I'll go crazy on the trigger here. Ah, got it! You just got to go a little mental on the button, that's all. Okay, Mac HD. Whew! So, it's a lot easier when you actually have the program to switch between the two of them, you know. Now, as far as going on the Mac startup device, that's something we want to check next to see where that's sitting at, because I haven't been able to check it yet. I haven't had a chance. So if we go into our system preferences, and we go to startup disk, come on, select the system you want to use. Okay, so through the Mac, we can do this. We can actually swap between them. So let's restart, and that should restart us right into Windows. Now, why do I want to run Windows on a Mac? Well, because I can, and I do have a lot of games that are on PC that will run far better on my Mac running Windows. So I'm more of a game player on the Windows environment. That's why I have a hopped up gaming machine. So yeah, why do I still want to do it on a Mac? Because I can. But there's other things I can do on the Windows OS that I can't do on the Mac for obvious reasons. But that's why we have the ability to run Windows on our Mac, so we can do whatever we want. We can have all the toys. Okay, so getting back to the boot camp thing here. So we know this program is not going to work. Okay, so that's fine. AMD, we know I don't have to worry about AMD drivers. Now, what do we get for display right now? See, I still have a boatload of Windows updates to do. So right now I'm stuck at 3480 by 2160. My normal display, this is a 5K retina. So I'm at like 5200 by something, you know. So, but anyway, so we still got good display access. However, if we go into the control panel setting, or actually device manager, and we go to video, Microsoft Basic Display Adapter. This is where we have a lack of driver problem. So if we go search automatically, it's going to search online. It may or may not update this driver. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to go back into the Apple folder. And it looks like it's downloading drivers. Okay, so we'll see what kind of drivers we get stuck with on this. Hopefully we can get back to our 5K area. Because that would be awesome, putting even farcry in 5K on a Mac. Because you can't even do 5K displays on a PC. It's not possible. So, anyways, let it download its thing. In the meantime, guys, if you want to run Windows 10 with Montery, and likely it'll still work under Big Sur again. I'd have to try it on some. I've got a laptop with Big Sur. I should actually try it. But you do have to have the boot camp stuff. And without having that control panel or app on the Windows side that we normally would have under Catalina and below to switch between PC and Mac. So when you're on the PC side, you can just click on it and say, switch to my Mac hard drive, and you know, it's like a startup disk selection, right? Without that, you got to go crazy on the Alt key on the PC keyboard or Mac keyboard, which would be your Option key. You got to go brrrr, real crazy while it's restarting. Don't stop, right? Until it gives you the selection to choose which hard drive or which OS actually you're going to boot from. That is a bit of a pain. The Bluetooth device thing, switching between, that is definitely going to be a pain on an iMac or a Mac Mini, a Mac Pro Tower. That will be a bit of a thing where you're going to have to just have a USB keyboard and mouse, which is not a bad thing. I mean, think of it this way. If you're playing video games on Windows, you have zero lag with a wired keyboard and mouse. You know, so there is that. On laptops, you won't have any issues at all. Okay, you'll have your keyboard, you'll have your trackpad. On both sides, you won't have to worry about binding anything or switching stuff, but you will still have to install the trackpad drivers, obviously. So you may still initially need a USB mouse if you don't get trackpad selection during your Windows install. But yeah, and I'm not even running a licensed copy of Windows, and I'm still going to be able to get all my updates, which is not a big deal. I may license this version down the road. I have no idea. I mean, it depends on how much use I really get out of it, if it's worth me doing or not. I'm still running an unlicensed version of Windows 10 on my 2012 MacBook Pro, and all my games are still playing. I'm still getting security updates and patches, and you know, who cares, right? So it's just what happens with an unlicensed copy is you won't be able to change things like your screensaver may be fixed at one type of screensaver and that's it. You may not be able to change your desktop background, but who really cares? 2 little features, you know, maybe 3 tops, and they're all unimportant anyways, right? The idea here is running your Mac OS, running your Windows OS, and getting your stuff done you need to do on both sides. So anyway, that's pretty much about wraps this video up. So I guess this is going to take a while to download my display adapter, but you know what, let's just pause the video and we'll come back and we'll see what we got for a change. So we're not leaving yet. Stay tuned. Okay guys, we got the proper drivers installed for our video card now for the Mac on the PC side, and this is what 5K Retina looks like on a PC. Something you ain't gonna experience on a real PC because 5K doesn't exist. And they won't even make 5K monitors for PCs. So we're going to actually see what farcry actually looks like on Windows 10, and hopefully at 5K resolution. Now we've seen it on Windows 10 before, not a big deal. And I've gotten it to go as high as 2K on my gamer system, but of course not 5K, right? And this is a 5K Retina Mac running Windows 10, and we're at 5K resolution right now. This is nuts. We've got our full 5120 by 2880 resolution here. That is insane. So we'll be right back as soon as farcry is installed and we got her fired up in hopefully 5K. Okay guys, farcry at 5120 by 2880 32-bit on a 5K Retina Mac. This is going to be really cool, I think. I still don't have sound. Don't know why, but it could have a lot to do with, oh wait a minute, compatible mode, in case of playback issues, okay. Hardware mixing, let's select them all. Okay, so we're going to have to quit and restart, yes. So let's reload the game. That ever tiny, eh? No, that still didn't help our sound. So we're gonna have more Windows updates to do. But let's see what it looks like first. We'll work out the sound, and I'll do a complete separate video on this then. So easy start. I have never played this game on in 5K. Like, 2K, yeah. Faking 5K, that is definitely a fake out. This is real 5K, which is something you don't do on a Windows computer because there are no 5K actual displays, let alone a 5K retina for a PC. So this will be a first. And this is going to take a while to boot the screen. So I'm thinking while this is loading, it's going to take a while. I want to keep the video short. Let's just stop the video here, and as soon as the game is loaded, we'll go into it. Alright guys, it took a while, but she's loaded. Oh, this is going to be so much fun in 5K. Still got no sound. No idea what's going on there. It's got to be some sort of a driver. Or I still have not done any Windows updates. And this is also running, don't forget, on a computer that is actually running Montery. And then putting in Windows 10. So there may be some little bugs to work out here and there. But we'll get them fixed either way. But so far I'm really loving this. The graphics are so nice in 5K. Need a better keyboard to play on though. This keyboard sucks. Wow, that gun looks pretty good. Get the grenade. And I've got the graphics, by the way, turned right to the max on everything. Wow, does that ever look nice? I can see another comparison video going on here with my Ryzen 7 8-core machine, and it's only got a 2K display. This is so nice. Wow. Now keep in mind, this iMac also only has a 2 gig Radeon video card in it as well. Ooh, would you look at that water? Wicked. I wish I had a sniper rifle right now. That would be so cool. Wow, that's a smooth looking rock, kids. Let's check out some trees. Wow, even right up on it, the tree looks good at a distance. Wow. And look at them coconuts. Oh, there's the birds. Now I just gotta get me one. Nice. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with our sound though. I'll have to figure that out. However, 5120 by 2880, 32-bit, awesome. Anti-aliasing's not even turned on. Gamma correction, advanced, everything's right up. Trilinear filter. Okay, so we're all good there. Lighting quality. Render mode default, improved Paradise Cold cartoon. We can always change that. Sound though. Sound is bugging me. I don't know why we're not getting sound coming through here. Yeah, and all this stuff's turned on. I don't think we need to worry about Doppler effect. Anyway, so other than trying to figure out our sound issue, which we're going to have to do, everything else is working fine so far. I'll get the Windows updates done. I'm pretty sure we're still going to have to do maybe a couple more drivers on this stick. I'm just not sure what all we're going to need to do here. Let me just check quickly here. Display. At 5K resolution, guys, this is like a little on the really tiny side to see stuff. Like tinier than the Mac OS running at 5K. So we got Bluetooth. Security catalog file. Well, maybe, I don't even know if we did this one or not here. I don't think that's going to help us, but are we on the net? Yeah, we're on the internet. Just need to do a sound test. Close all tabs. Sound. Headphones. Digital. High definition audio device. Or digital high definition. Well, maybe we can switch to there. Okay, let's control panel. Sound. Yeah, it says that's all working. Properties. One, two, 1, 2. Well, we know our microphone works. Headphones. Set default. Properties. See, it says it's 1. Okay. It says it's doing it, but we're not getting anything through. Disable all enhancements. Levels. It's almost like something's muted, but it's not showing us muted. No. Let's try that. I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out and we'll come back to you when we got sound on farcry. But in the meantime, that's sick. I love that. Catch you on the next one.